Welcome to the Guelph Real Estate Report podcast with your host and Guelph Realtor, Ryan Waller. This podcast is designed to provide information for those buying and selling homes in the Guelph area to make the process more informative, fun, and a little less stressful. Now, on with the show!
Hey everyone, it's Ryan and welcome back to episode 13 of the Guelph Real Estate Report podcast. Sorry there's been a bit of a delay in the weekly episodes. It would be indicative of the spring market and the busyness that has come about, and we will talk about that today. One of the things we talk about often in real estate is seasonality, and this is about how many transactions happen during the different seasons. And as you would imagine, you will find less activity in the colder, snowier months, and you will find more activity in the warmer months. So it's no surprise then that the months of April, May, and June, just after we get through a cold winter, the grass starts getting greener, the trees start getting leaves, that people want to consider listing their home. And so the months of April, May, and June, despite being 25% of the months, make up about 35 to 40% in some cases of the total annual sales. Now, I should caution that more sales doesn't mean higher prices. More sales just means that sellers are active. They want to get their house on the market when it looks nice outside and the flowers are starting to bloom. And buyers are looking to make a move after the snow is gone. They're out of their house more often. The weather is nicer. They can envision themselves being in a new backyard or potentially a house with a pool in the summertime. And so buyers become more active as well. It would also be no surprise then that some of the busiest closing times, so you buy a house and you have a closing date, some of the busiest closing times are the end of June. And that's because that is the end of the school year, and particularly for someone that is moving from out of town or even within Guelph and from neighborhood to a different neighborhood, they want to finish out the school year. So oftentimes we'll find that there are buyers in April and sometimes into May, sometimes even into June, that want an end of June or early July closing. And it makes sense, right? You finish the school year, you're about to go on vacation, and you want to make that move happen right in the middle of those, just as school's done, but before you go on vacation for the summertime. The second busiest time of the year we find is at the end of November and early December, just before Christmas. But if we take a look at sales month to date in Guelph, remember it's one of the three busiest months of the year, sales this month are, and I sound like a bit of a broken record, but they are down from last year significantly. And we are under 5 houses per day on average selling in Guelph, which it is a very low metric. We typically see some of the highest numbers per month happening in April. And so just for some context, last year alone, we were at 177 sales for the month. 2023, we were at 180 sales for the month of April, and we're rolling in here this month in Guelph at about 120, which for an April is the slowest April in years, with the one exception being April of COVID, where it was the first full month where nobody was doing anything. Besides that month, this is the second slowest April in a very long time. So transactions are happening. They are just not happening at the same velocity that they have been in prior years. If we look within the freehold segment or detached, semi-detached without fees segment, we have 83 sales month to date, with the lowest sale price coming in at $490,000 on Fountain Street downtown, and the highest sale price at $2.25 million on Nevitt Place. And there actually were two $2 million sales this month, but we had a total of about 15 sales that were above $1 million, which for as a percentage of 83 is significantly higher than it would in a normal month be. So Interesting stats, although the overall numbers are down, some higher average price sales. And I'll talk a little bit about why I think that is in a minute. If we get into the condo and townhouse segment, we are looking at 46 sales, with the lowest being 307,000 on Conroy. In fact, the first three, the lowest price three of the month, there were three on Conroy that sold under 400,000. And if we look at the highest price, we have three above 1 million. The most expensive being a 12th floor unit in the development at 1878 Gordon Street. So interesting numbers there as well. Surprising to see 3 units sell over $1 million in the condo segment this month. We are starting to notice that there are more move-up buyers coming back to the market, and this would make sense. These are buyers where they are in maybe their first home, and they are now looking to move up to the next phase. Their kids are getting bigger, they need more space. Maybe they want to move a little more rural or out of the city, and they are selling in the $700,000 to $900,000 range and buying whatever that next level is. So $1 million, $1.1 million, $1.2 million, somewhere in that range. And we're starting to see that, and it makes sense because the segment that they're selling in between $700,000 to $900,000 is still moving quickly. There is demand there, and they can get a great price. And where they're buying at $1 million plus is still sort of sluggish. And so they are able to get a better deal there. So it's almost like they can get a better deal on both ends. Better deal on the sale, better deal on the purchase. We're also noticing a number of first-time buyers that are coming into the market and snapping up some of the cheaper condo townhouse and condominium-type properties. These, because there is a significant quantity of them on the market, you can negotiate them further than you were negotiating just even a year ago. So if you are a buyer, a first-time buyer looking to get into the market, and especially we're seeing those coming in from the GTA, give us a call. We can certainly guide you in the right path for that. Anyways, that is the short and sweet episode this week. If you have any questions on the Guelph real estate market, you can always find Beth and I at bethandryan.ca. You can book an appointment. You can watch our YouTube videos. You can read our blog that gives more detail on this specific topic. And we will talk to you soon.